And the same is true for my outfit. In a world where all of our dealership cars seem to be black, white, or gray, and my closet is the same, it's very easy for me to match these cars. And it's also very easy for me to talk about the value and just the overall great experience that the K4 has been giving us since it's arrived at our store. So in today's video, both myself and
me, Tim,
are going to go over a full, live, in-depth review of the 2025 Kia K4 in the GT line turbo trim level. Now this trim, it's got a long name, but it's actually not the highest trim available for the K4.
Correct.
But you take a look inside, and you might believe it is. So let's start off with the front end. We'll talk about the powertrain, the technology, the exterior, everything you need to know. I promise we'll mention it in today's video. And if for whatever reason we missed something, this is live. So if you're watching this in real time, you can leave us a message or a comment in the live chat box and let us know if there's something additionally you'd like us to cover in today's video. Should we get into it, Tim?
Let's go.
All right, I'll first start off with the price. So it's $31,495 Canadian, and that is the base MSRP. Just like what I said earlier, this is not the highest trim level you can get, but there is a lot of extra premium, extra luxe, and extra fun functions starting on this trim level. On the front end, you'll notice that we have quite a bit of gloss black exterior design elements. So let's take a closer look. Tim, come on over. On our grille right over here, you'll notice everything is finished in beautiful gloss black. This adds to the sporty appeal, and depending on your exterior color, it can either blend in, so an all black look, or stand out. So in the steel gray here today, it definitely stands out. We also have a little bit of satin metal, just expanding across the front end here, and a nice brushed aluminum Kia emblem. The emblem itself is actually planted into the hood, so it's low profile, it's sleek, and it's Kia's updated badge too, so it just looks good. It fits our product lineup perfectly. Speaking of the product lineup, a lot of our recent vehicles are coming with a new headlamp design, and the K4 certainly fits it. So we have a bold, bright, amber daytime running light. It's a huge lamp too, so there's no missing this car on the road, and it certainly stands out. This will of course be to be your turn signal indicator as well. Same thing with your hazards. The main headlamp is a full LED, bold, bright, and it also has intelligent high beam assist. What that means is if you are someone who frequently drives in rural areas where you use your high beams, once it's on, it can actually shut itself off if it senses another vehicle in the opposing lane. So pretty handy. With lights this bright, you don't want to be blinding others, so it's a very courteous function. A couple more things I want to point out. We get exclusive GT line design cues, so namely right over here, all finished in gloss black with a little bit of this gunmetal finish along the lower lip of the car. You also get advanced technology starting on the GT line trim level. So we have smart cruise control standard on the K4. What we don't have is highway drive assist. However, on the GT line, it's added on, so this radar place not only watches the speed of the car ahead of you and slows you down if you hit stop and go traffic, this car is also a little bit more intelligent in the way it responds. So it's going to feel a little bit more like you as the driver are driving, even though it's an assistance function. So you can customize it, make your reaction timing a little bit quicker, make sure you're set followed at a safe distance, but also at a nice, safe measure in your lane, I should say. So if your vehicle is verging a little towards the right of the lane, even though I'm signaling left, your car will maneuver itself to make sure you're centered at all times. I'm gonna pop the hood to talk about the powertrain. Now the fun that the GT line adds starts, but does not end at what we've got under the hood. Number one, we have a brand new powertrain in the lineup. So it's a 1.6 liter turbocharged gasoline direct injection engine that produces 190 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. Here she is, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a little bit of extra space around the engine itself. Could this hint that maybe we will one day see a 2.5 liter or maybe a 2 liter turbo for the K4? I don't know. Maybe I'm just spreading misinformation, but it could be a possibility. Tim, what do you think? Whatever. Tim is pessimistic. Me, however, I think this powertrain is a ton of fun, but with a ton of fun, it doesn't mean that it's going to consume fuel. So this turbocharged powertrain is rated at 8 liters per 100 kilometers combined. That's highway and city driving. Another huge benefit of this new layout is the fact that we no longer have a dual clutch transmission. So we now have an 8-speed regular automatic, but we still get paddle shifters on the steering wheel. So it's fun, sporty, but it's also a whole lot smoother. If you are daily driving this vehicle, and more importantly, in stop-and-go traffic conditions, you have the peace of mind of knowing you've got a regular transmission with a torque converter. That's something that the vehicle's closest competitor, the Elantra N-Line, does not have. The Elantra N-Line is still using a 7-speed dual clutch. Just saying. There's nothing wrong with the dual clutch, but if you prefer a smoother ride, this is the car for you. All right, let's take a look at the wheels. The wheels are exclusive to this trim level. It's an 18-inch alloy, so we've gone up a size from the trim level below, and we also have larger disc brakes up at the front, not just any disc brakes, they're ventilated discs, and a regular Kumo Majesty tire. It's an all-season tire. Certainly recommend winters if you are driving this vehicle in Canada. The vehicle itself has 140 millimeters of ground clearance. Surrounding your wheel arches, you have a nice gloss black finish. Again, that's exclusive to the GT line trim levels. So everything is just going to have a little bit more of a sporty flair in terms of the exterior design. Let's take a look at the windshield now. Now, it may look like a regular windshield, but it's actually acoustic laminated, and you do have a camera in the very center that will help guide you in your lanes, but also serve as an extra vision in terms of forward collision avoidance. The car itself has an advanced form of it, so it's upgraded from the Kia Forte of the past, now giving it a more array of visible collision avoidance properties. So if there's a vehicle oncoming and they start to move towards you, the vehicle will alert you and apply brake force, but it's also for pedestrians and cyclists. If you are driving this vehicle in the city, even the highway, there's just a huge array of added safety that can take action to avoid any sort of boom. All right, for your mirrors, gloss black with an LED turn signal indicator and some more satin metal surrounds. I love the satin metal inclusion. I think it's so nice to have a little bit of light mixed in with that dark, just a great contrast. You have built-in blind spot detection on this vehicle, illuminating the mirror, but also providing some audible feedback in the cabin if it senses vehicle in a blind spot or the risk of a collision. For your door handles, we have proximity entry, so that little button on both the driver and passenger front doors will allow you to press the button to unlock or lock your car. Super fantastic in Canada, where you're wearing multiple layers in the winter and you forgot which pocket you put your keys in. You never have to touch your keys again, but you might want to because you have remote start built onto them. Up at the top, I'll just quickly talk about the side profile of the vehicle. Get a quick hint at the fact that we have a beautiful wide sunroof in the car. The belt lines, again, have that nice satin metal with some gloss black for your pillars. Also, a quick look at your rear door handle. It's actually mounted into the pillar itself, so a bit of a different location, but same general use. The car has a very wide rear end, very much Coke bottle style like the Kia Stinger. No, the Kia Stinger's not coming back, but we'd like to think the K4 is just the Stinger's younger brother. All right, let's look at the tail lamps. So we have a nice LED tail lamp design with a lot of gloss black housing. So no, you don't have to tint your taillights yourself. It already comes from the dealership with a little bit of a dark hue to it. This panel here on your trunk kind of gives the illusion that we have a very small trunk. But again, that's just an illusion. We have a ton of space back here. It's a very fastback-like style rear end, again adding to the sporty flair of this car. And then the GT line's exterior design package just adds on to that. For your suspension, we have a multi-link rear suspension, which isn't just going to give you a bit of a smoother ride, it's also going to give you a more precise handling too. So if that's important to you, you'd really love the drive of this car. Let's open the trunk and talk space. So we have 413 liters of cargo space. Those numbers may mean nothing to you. Basically, we got a lot of space for a sedan. The opening looks a little bit small, but once you're in, and maybe you're not putting people in, there's actually a lot of room here. So I'm gonna seat myself all the way to the back. My feet are still not touching the other side. Let's check that out. Even pointed toes, I'm not reaching. And I got long legs. Another huge win for this vehicle, although it's in the compact segment, it does not compromise. And by that, I mean we actually have a spare tire, something that almost none of its competitors have. Elantra, I'm looking at you. All right, let's close this up. All right, your rear camera is right underneath the eye in Kia. It's a high definition camera, which I will show you once we hop inside. And then for the lower portion of the rear end, we have a pretty cool looking diffuser. So everything is all in that gloss black finish that we have up at the front. So design-wise, everything's very cohesive. There's still a little bit of that graphite or gunmetal finish poking through. However, when it comes to your exhaust, it's a downward facing exhaust and it's pretty hidden. So Tim, can you even find it?
There it is.
There she is. So no crazy exhaust notes coming from this car, but you do have the added pep in the performance thanks to the turbocharged engine. And yes, it certainly does make a difference if you drive the 2-liter K4 to the 1.6-liter right after. You will certainly feel it. Both transmission-wise, engine performance-wise, put it in sport mode too, you'll feel it even more. Let's take a look inside now. I already said earlier, the fun starts but doesn't end with the engine. The inside is where things get really cool. So, seats. Your seats start right in this trim level with our GT line exclusive styling. As you can see, we've got a leatherette seat with black inserts. However, the side piping and your headrest are finished in a lighter white. It's an off-white color, so it's not too stark. A lot of people are concerned about cleaning these vehicles. Now, again, we're a dealership, we use them for test drives. We haven't had any issues keeping them clean. Would be nice to keep a cloth in your car though if you are someone who's very particular about the cleanliness of their car. All right, I'm gonna hop in. Another start on this vehicle is the inclusion of a power driver seat. So let's check out what we can do. You can adjust the height as well as the angle of the seat, your backrest, bring it closer, bring it further, and then even lumbar support. It's a 2-way lumbar support seat, very comfortable, and these seats are going to be heated with 3 different levels. Now the location of some of those comfort functions have drastically changed on the Kia K4, and we're starting to see it more and more in our lineup. I'll present your attention to the door. So that's where you guys can see our heated seat controls as well as your heated steering wheel with 2 different levels for the heated steering wheel, a first for Kia. Super easy to change, and it's actually in a fairly convenient location. The door handles are pretty cool looking, again in that brushed metal finish. And then for your main door pad here, we've got our window controls, our mirror controls, the usual. Now the front 2 windows are going to be express up and down windows, and can you kind of see a little tinge of an illuminated glow here? This is also your starting trim for an ambient mood light inside the cabin. Again, something that adds in a little extra fun. Is it a make or break feature? Could be, maybe that's up to you, but it certainly adds to the experience on the inside. We'll see a little bit more of that illumination on the main dash here. So here's a sneak peek. And then the overall materials of the cabin, everything just has a little bit more design to it. So there's a lot more going on, but it's still tasteful. You got a little bit more metal touch here. Our fans, everything is in a nice horizontal finish, again adding to the overall width of the car. It feels super spacious inside, and it's not just the design, it's actually the dimensions. This car has grown in size. Compared to the Kia Forte, it's been stretched to all 4 corners. It's longer, it's wider, it's taller. You will certainly feel the difference. All right, a couple more buttons here before I have Tim join me in the passenger side. We've got our brightness adjustment for your screens, an electronic parking brake, and then your traction control. As Tim walks over, I'll show you guys the steering wheel. Now the steering wheel is very different on the GT line models. So whether you get the GT line or the GT line Turbo Limited, it's going to be largely the same with the 2-tone finish. The stitching is also quite nice. Main insert with the off-centered Kia logo, and then your drive mode select is right smack dab in the middle. I love to see it in the middle instead of off to the side like on the other models. I'll show you what the drive mode options are right now. So as I press, you can see we've got normal mode and sport mode, all you really need in life. On the left-hand side, you have your driver assistance controls. So on the top left, your button to turn on your cruise control. You'll set your speed with the plus and minus, and set your following distance with the button on the bottom left. To the right, we have our button to turn on or off our steering assistance. You can see I've pressed it, we have it on right now, and now it's off. Tim, why are you touching everything?
Best part of the car.
Tim wants to show you guys the extra wide sunroof. So again, a vehicle that's in the compact segment, usually they have a fairly small sunroof. It's a single type sunroof.
Yeah.
This is huge. It's not full on panoramic, but it's pretty big. It's very wide.
And the vent visor.
The bug deflector.
Bug deflector.
All right, I'm gonna give this to Tim.
You flip it around.
All right, and I'll
Okay,
close
Gab.
my door too.
Leave this one open.
All right, so if you're looking at a video of the GT Line Limited and now you're looking at the GT Line, you may be wondering what's different. Because again, a lot of the interior materials are going to be the same, but there's also some small changes that it's more than meets the eye. So on the trim level above this, you will get cooled seats up at the front as well as a premium sound system and a little bit more advancement in terms of the tech. Things like a 360 camera and highway drive assist level 2. This trim level is just highway drive assist level 1. But don't let that downplay the value of it. It's still a fantastic function. Another addition that starts on the GT line model that we have here today is integrated navigation. This is very handy if you're someone who might frequently have a dead phone or doesn't have the best cell provider. You might not have service. This will work at all times. In the very center, we also have the inclusion of a dedicated HVAC display. So this is where you can go to make some more fine-tuned adjustments to your climate control. It may look like a small screen, and it may also look like it's in the way of the steering wheel, or it's kind of hidden by the steering wheel. In order to make it larger, you have this plus button here, and that'll transform it across your full 12.3-inch display. From here, you can see we can take a look at our rear seats, turn on the heated seats back there. That way, if you're expecting guests, you can have everything all ready for them. You also have dual climate control starting on this trim level. So if passenger comfort is something that's very important to you, that may be a reason to consider this trim level over the trim levels below it. Super easy to change your temperatures, but if you're not a fan of touchscreen displays for things like climate, have no fear, because right underneath, we actually still have physical toggles. I can set mine here, passenger can set theirs over there, and then your fan mode and fan controls are just right beside. So it's still simple. It can be as complicated or as simple as you want, which is pretty nice. A couple other things I want to talk about have to do with the steering wheel, and that is the inclusion of the paddle shifters that are mounted right here. So, nice thing about this vehicle, it's fun to shift through your gears, but it's even more fun to be able to do it here or from your regular gear shift lever. Having a regular gear shift lever is something that seems to be more and more rare these days. It's nice to be able to rest your hand here, but also it looks good. It fits this cabin quite nicely. It also doesn't take away from anything else here. You can see we got a lot of usable cargo space all around. Let's take a look at it. Your cup holders, they are fairly deep and they are retractable. So if you just need this for regular space, you can do that. Pop them out when you need them, tuck them away when you don't. For your center console, it's deep. Nothing too special about it, but it's a fairly good size. And one thing that is quite nice is the fact that it's completely concealed. I don't know if you guys have seen the Hyundai Kona recently, but it's open. You can see right through it. Just saying, it's nice to have some things hidden. All right, and right up above that, we have a wireless phone charger with a new system that enhances cooling, so your phone shouldn't get as hot in this phone charger. You've got a bunch of USB-Cs too, so this one that's illuminated in orange can do both data transfer and charging, while the one on the right is simply for faster charging. There's also a 12-volt or cigarette lighter port. And again, it's generally open space, so places to put your things. Up at the top, your headliner is all black, which certainly adds to the sporty feel of the cabin. Makes it a little more moody. But of course, with a dark headliner, it can sometimes make things feel confined. I think they did a great use of integrating lighter materials to make things still feel open. And the sunroof also does a really good job at that. Thank you, Tim. That's a great view. All right, do you want to show the glove box?
Yeah, let's go.
Glove box review.
So all the books are in there.
You got to show it.
Kia, and here it is. So that's actually, this is a battery test stuff that we do for PDI. And then you get French and English, but it's a good size glove box. Put your lunch in there. It's good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Super handy. There's a couple more things I want to talk about on the main screen, is the fact that if you are someone who loves and wants to use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, it's completely wireless on this device. So as long as you connect your phone, you'll just have it project across the entirety of the screen. Super seamless, super quick too, very responsive. You also have your integration for your media modes, so there is Sounds of Nature, Sirius XM, FM, whoa! AM radio, all of which you can change and set to your driver profiles. We'll slide over and I'll quickly show you the vehicle menu where you can make changes to the driver assistance on this car. So things like the highway drive assist I mentioned earlier, but also if you're not a fan of the forward collision warning, you can shut it off, change it, whatever you like best, even change the intensity too. So if it's a bit too sensitive for you, you can set it to later. There's so much really built into this car, things that we've talked about in other videos. So if you'd like to go in a more in-depth look about specific functions, definitely check those out. For now, let's check out the back seats. Now, the GT line Turbo has something that you probably wouldn't expect in a vehicle that isn't technically the highest trim level, and that is heated rear seats. So the seats back here, and I kind of hinted at them earlier, have 3 different levels of heat. Again, something that the back seats usually don't have. So they're fairly wide, they each have car seat anchors, And then in our very center, we have the inclusion of our drop-down armrest or cup holder. Now, the naturally aspirated models of the Kia K4 do not have this. It's something that's pretty overlooked in terms of rear passenger comfort, but again, so nice to have. Because this vehicle is front-wheel drive, we don't have a massive hump in the very center here. So if you do have someone sitting in the middle seat, their feet aren't going to be too elevated. They're not going to be too hunched over. It's still a really comfortable middle seat to be in. You also have rear ventilation, thanks to your fans here. Two sets of USB-Cs, a set of USB-Cs, and then a fairly deep pocket that's perfect to fit a phone that could be charging here. Now, let's talk the backs of the seats. They look a little weird. I promise there's some functionality behind that. So this kind of hump or lump over here is actually meant to hang bags or jackets, whatever you don't want on the ground of your car. Super smart design in my opinion. And we also have our LED lights back here too. So LEDs throughout the car, your headlamps, your tail lamps, and your interior lights. Not to mention your fun and color changeable mood lamps surrounding the car. Well, Tim, what do you think of the car?
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful.
All right, I will say I used to have a Kia Forte, which was the car before this one. This is a lot more space. Rear end, back seats, front seats, there's space all around this car. It's definitely, they made it luxurious, they made it fun, and even though this is the sporty trim level, there's an added bit of comfort to it. So it's not just raw sport performance, it's niceness with a side of funness. Real words today. You can tell it's Friday and I'm very tired. All right, let's answer some questions, Tim.
You got it. What's the next thing we have to look forward to, Gabby, in this car line?
A hatchback.
A
So
hatchback.
if you want a little bit more practicality with the fun and comforts of the K4, we will have a hatch, which will give you a lot more cargo space in the rear.
Perfect.
All right,
Spinning it around. We'll throw ourselves down.
camera tech Tim.
And there we are. We're
All right.
back.
Let's see what you guys have to say about the K4 and if you have any questions. Everyone that's on has a blue or green icon. It's crazy to look at.
Oh,
All right, Ryan said he can't wait for the hatchback. Me either. That's something I'm very excited for on Kia's radar.
I saw them about 2 months ago in Mexico. In Cabo. They had them out as rental cars in Enterprise in Mexico, so they look pretty cool.
Simon said, I dislike that old-fashioned gear shifter. What would you prefer instead of it for this car? Let us know.
Yeah.
I love a regular style gear shift. I think they look good. I like the functionality of it, but let's see.
I think Gabby said the right thing. You got someplace to put your
Yeah.
hand in your arm, so we're used to that.
Gabby, your Seltos review sold me. I just purchased the Seltos SX this morning. Thank you for your videos. Kyle, that's so exciting to hear. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you love your new Seltos. It's going to be awesome. Blair said I need to see the yellow one. Yeah, so the sparkling yellow is actually exclusive to the hatchback, they said. I'm very excited to see that here too.
I haven't seen it yet.
No?
So
It's got a nice shimmer to it. I prefer a piano shifter or a dial shifter. Okay.
that's good.
Love your videos. Is the exhaust sport tuned? No. So the exhaust isn't sport tuned. Your suspension is though. The exhaust, it does sound a little louder, of course, than the 2-liter, but it's nothing crazy. And it's not entirely visible from the back end of the car.
No.
No. Bulletin Blair said it needs to be a 5-speed manual. I think the manual days are gone for Kia.
A lot of manufacturers, right?
Yeah. Hyundai still has it for their Elantra N, but
Yep.
that's it.
What was the last manual car we had?
It would be the Forte. The
Yep.
Forte GT.
Yep.
Forte 5 GT. But
Yeah.
other than that, oh no, we had it in the regular Forte too. The LX model came with the standard option, but it wasn't a fun or performance standard. It was more so just a,
Commuter car.
yeah, cost-effective standard
It was
car.
a commuter car with air conditioning and that's it.
Yeah.
And we had a bunch of them. We sold a ton of them.
We also had it on
Yeah.
the Kia Rio 5 too.
Yes.
That came with the standard.
Yeah.
There was a time where the Sportage was standard, and some places
Ooh.
also got the Optima standard too. I don't know if Ontario ever got that.
No.
But when I was shopping
No.
for a car, I just kept seeing a bunch of Optimas standard, but they were all in Montreal. So, Any idea if it's coming to Europe? I have a manual i30N 6-speed. So I don't think you guys get the K4 per se, but you get the Cerato, I think.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be something under a different name. What about the front passenger seat? Come on, show us. Yeah, Tim.
Yep.
Tim didn't show it. He's going to sit in there and I'll talk. So it's a manual passenger seat. But
and there's lots of room. So I can put it all the way back, which is way too far for me. But if I was sitting in this car, yeah, like this is very comfortable.
So Tim,
And
do you know
lots
what's
of room.
special about this passenger seat?
What's that?
The fact that it's height adjustable.
Oh, yes.
So a lot of compact cars don't have height adjustments for the passenger. It's almost always there for the driver, but not for passenger.
Yeah,
This car
lots
does.
of room. And
I'm just gonna
comfortable.
show what space is
And
looking
let me
like.
jump in there. I'll jump in there because I would say I'm probably a normal sized person and my feet are on the ground and I put the seat back. So it's not like a penalty being back here, especially on a long road trip.
Yeah, so if Tim was sitting behind Tim in the back would still have room.
Yeah, you got it.
In case you guys were
Imagine
wondering.
2 Tims in one car.
Wow. That would be annoying.
That'd be dangerous.
I'm gonna come on this side, sorry.
You
Tim.
got it?
I'll move
Okay.
that. We'll take a couple more questions. I saw someone mention the air quality and that it's a bit rougher in Pearson. Yeah, so today there's actually, did you see the health warning?
Yes, we had quality warning with fires and smoke from Saskatchewan
Yeah.
coming across. So yeah, it's kind of brown out,
It's,
hazy.
yeah, I don't smell it too much or anything, but
Downtown Hamilton, maybe.
yeah. Spencer D said, I'm a fan of the two-tone. Yes, I think the two-tone that
Yeah.
we've been doing on more and more cars looks fantastic. And it's just such a way to add more character to our cars, right?
Yeah, because for sure. One tip is people use baby wipes.
Yeah.
Baby wipes on the lighter interiors, or if you're wearing a brand new pair of jeans that the blue would come off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll say also, in a world where we have so many black interior cars, it's just nice to see a little bit of variation in the vehicles, right?
Yes.
So it's a lot more fun, a lot more character. I personally love it so much. And the fact that it's on the steering wheel as well too, it's very nice. They did a good job with
yeah.
it. What's the advantages of the small cube projector headlamps that's on the limited trim? So I wouldn't say there's really advantages. I do think it adds a bit more in the styling department, so personal preference really. Projector lights do a little bit of a better job at focusing the beam of the headlamp. However, with modern LEDs and modern headlamps, a lot of them are going to be very, very good. You might not even notice much of a difference. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Good point.
Sorry, Gabby, my new Seltos is black interior. Hey, that's okay.
That's okay.
I know on our side when we see Kia Seltoses, we probably get like 1 or 2 brown interiors a year.
I have one SX in brown. We've got a lot of new trims in Sorrentos because we've had olive and blue and what's the other ones? Olive, blue, black, two-tone
What
gray.
car are we talking about?
Sorrento.
Oh, Sorrento, yeah, we have the olive green interior, and then on the
Yeah.
hybrids and plug-in hybrids, we have a blue or a gray interior, all of which look super good. It's rare for us to have colored interiors arrive at our dealership, but when we do, they look very good. I do think a lot of people are also scared of getting colored interiors sometimes, especially when you hear blue. You know, you might expect Tim's usual full blue suit, but it's actually just something a little bit more tasteful.
Yeah.
Tim
Okay.
didn't sign up to be attacked today.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, well, Tellurides, we've got, what's the interior? What's the brown interior called?
Terracotta.
Terracotta?
We've got a red interior too.
Yep.
And then there used to be a jungle green as well.
Yes.
The jungle green though wasn't very green.
It's more gray.
Yeah, it's very much a
Gabby's
gray.
shirt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of my shirt, someone asked, Gabby, do you coordinate your t-shirt with the colors of the cars? So, yes.
Every day.
I almost always wear black or gray, and almost our entire lot is black and gray. So, yes, I am
We're kind of
coordinating.
boring with colors here.
All right, we should probably end off today's video. Again, if you're watching this in the future and any questions come to mind, Charlotte and I regularly monitor the comments, so we can certainly get back to you. We'd love to help you out with anything Kia or Hyundai related or just car related. Let us know. In the meantime, this is our last live stream of the week. We'll be back live at 2 p.m. on Monday with more mystery cars.
You got it.
I don't know what we're filming Monday. That's why I said mystery, but it'll be a Kia. All right, take care, you guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Bye.